everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joshua Arce. Joshua reviews movies and more. And ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened. Netflix has officially acquired Warner Brothers Discovery and all of its assets for a fee of about $82.5 billion, actually. Um, this is insane. This is a crazy time that we're living in. I cannot believe that we are finally here. This has been a pretty long process in terms of the Warner Brothers Discovery sale. This has been something that has been speculated for about 3 years. Definitely not Netflix, right? Well, a certain part of the fandom has been speculating this, and they actually got it right, and that is indeed the Snyder fandom. And no hate to Snyder fans, because I am indeed a Snyder fan, so that wasn't a jab or anything. That's just me saying they got it right. I cannot believe that this is happening. This is kind of insane. I do not know what this means for James Gunn and Peter Safran, by the way. I don't know. I don't know how this works in terms of DC Studios. I don't know what happens from here on out in terms of DC content that we'll be getting. But, I mean, this is pretty crazy. We're going to be talking about it in today's video. I just want to make sure that you all are subscribed first and have left a like on the video. Please comment down below your thought on this news and this huge sort of outbreak that has happened over the last few hours. I cannot believe that we're here. I just can't. It was revealed late last night that Netflix had won the bidding war. It was The Wrap that broke it first, and then this morning Netflix had posted this on their socials. Today, Netflix announced our acquisition of Warner Brothers. Together, we'll define the next century of storytelling, creating an extraordinary entertainment offering for audiences everywhere. That one image alone is insane. But I am really intrigued to see where this goes. Now, in terms of theatrical release windows, this is going to be really, really interesting because I believe Ted Sarandos has come out and sort of talked about it. So I'm going to pull it up here. So Netflix says Warner Brothers theatrical release windows will evolve to become shorter. My pushback has been mostly in the fact of the long exclusive windows, which we don't really think are that consumer friendly. I was watching a YouTuber earlier, and he said that this is kind of insane, and that Hollywood should go back to the old format, the old model, which should basically be movies get released for about 3-4 months in theaters, and then we're not really able to purchase anything of the film until the following year, or at least a few months, to finally just drive people back to theaters. I don't understand why we're sort of shorting release windows now in terms of movies, because the process of filmmaking now is movie comes out, the movie's going to be in theaters for about 2-3 months, and then it goes straight to digital and streaming. Sometimes it'll come out on streaming or on digital while the film is still in theaters, which I think is insane to me. And now this process is going to be like tenfold. It's insane. I don't know necessarily how, again, James Gunn or Peter Safran fits into the mix of all this. I do not know how Man of Tomorrow is going to be looking now. I do not know how the Batman Part 2 is going to be looking now. I just don't know what Ted Sarandos and David Zaslav and everyone has sort of cooked up. I know a lot of fans want Zack to come back and finish his story under Netflix, which I would be totally fine with. I think that would be really, really cool of Netflix to do and sort of be able to pull off, just to sort of give fans that closure. I've wanted to see the completion of those movies for a while now, and if it were to happen under Netflix, I'll be very much pleased. But as of right now, Zack is currently over there at Paramount and working with the Saudis and everything on his new Brawler movie. He also just worked on his new film, The Last Photograph, that is yet to be picked up. So that film has no distribution yet. And Netflix is sort of like 50-50 with Zack at the moment. I believe an article came out by Forbes not too long ago that most of his projects at Netflix had been scrapped. So I don't know if that's Netflix just sort of opening up his slate, his calendar to possibly come back to finish his DC work, or if Netflix is just done with him in general. Or maybe Zach himself has moved on from the Netflix program. I have no idea what the mindset or what the process is behind that. But I want to talk about Netflix here for a second. And I want to talk about everyone else involved with this sort of fiasco in buying Warner Brothers. So, the runners up to buy Warner Brothers were Netflix, right? And these were everyone who were bidding on Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix, Universal, Paramount, Comcast, just all of these companies. And Netflix just, I mean, they played the game right. They did it. Paramount says that they cheated a little bit and that it was dirty, but it seems as if Netflix doesn't really give an F. I am really interested to see how this all goes. I know there's a little bit more process to go through in terms of finalizing the actual deal itself. But this was just sort of Warner Brothers and Netflix coming together to say that they have sort of reached a deal and that they are going to be coming back. Not coming back necessarily, but they are going to be joining forces and making these films and TV shows and just sort of combining their services and assets. But this is what David Zaslav had to say about the whole thing, which I found really interesting. He said, "Today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world to bring to even more people to the entertainment they love to watch the most. By coming together with Netflix, we will ensure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most resonant stories for generations to come." So it seems as if Zaslav is happy with this deal. I know that it's come out that he's been sort of stubborn in terms of the sale, but he really seems to side with Netflix on this one. So I just hope that Netflix has a good plan with what they're going to do with this company. It is being reported, though, that Mr. David Zaslav himself is going to be staying on as the head of the new Warner Brothers Discovery Studios, and that he will be in charge of the sort of distribution of movies and TV, which I don't think is a good idea at all. I don't want this. I don't want this to be the case. I really don't want this to be the case. I hope it's not the case. Mainly just because, what's the point? What's the point? You sold off your company, dude. Like, just leave. Take your money and get out. I don't want you at Warner Brothers anymore. I don't want you laying a finger on Warner Brothers anymore. You have totally destroyed that company. And the reason as to why now that you're having to sell this company is because of how much you fricked it up, man. Well, a lot of the reason as to why Warner Brothers is having to sell was because they cut 30 minutes out of Batman vs Superman, but we're not going to get into that conversation here today. I'm not going to get into it here. I know a lot of people feel the same way, but Netflix has just been killing it lately with Stranger Things, and with them doing theatrical release screenings for the finale of that show, which I will be attending to one. And etc. And just they've just been killing it. The Stranger Things is like the number one most watched U.S. like film show on Netflix ever. I think that just came out, so that's pretty insane how much they're actually killing it in the industry. A lot of people are indeed concerned, and rightfully so, about how this will all go down. Again, a lot of people are concerned for the DCU. A lot of people are concerned for the DCEU and how that all looks. A lot of people are just concerned for the film industry in general. I think the Directors Guild of America is going to be meeting up with Netflix to sort of talk things out on how they're wanting to handle things. So that conversation is going to be really interesting if anything gets leaked or released from that meeting, because I know that a lot of people in the film industry are not very happy about this decision right now, which again, rightfully so. Netflix has been sort of anti-movie theater going experience over the last several years. So they have just now started to become open to the idea of releasing more projects in theaters. Like with Frankenstein, they did a limited release of that film before putting it on streaming. Um, so yeah, I just think that if Netflix really wants to go all in, then they're gonna go all in and they're gonna change their model. And I think that we're gonna be getting theatrical releases and things like that, and we're gonna be sort of seeing a change within Netflix's sort of algorithm. Now, what this means for HBO Max and Warner Brothers sort of streaming assets, I have no idea what Netflix is wanting to do with those. I don't know if they're gonna want to join together the two. I don't know. All I know is that Netflix's prices are definitely about to skyrocket. It's gonna be like $50 now. I think it's already like, is it like 24 bucks or it's like something crazy already. So I'm just sort of intrigued to see how that all goes. But let's see if there's anything else here that I can necessarily talk about in terms of yeah, so Warner Brothers has contracts that extend through 2029, which guarantees the theatrical release of their films. So, obviously, Netflix is still going to be having to release these movies in theaters until about, like it says, 2029 here, and then after that, who knows what Netflix is going to be wanting to do, if they're going to be wanting to continue that model, or just have these movies go straight to streaming, or do limited theatrical release windows like they did for Frankenstein and like what they're doing with Stranger Things. And yeah, I think I think in the next few days, Safran and Gunn are going to be meeting with Netflix. I think that's the next step in sort of seeing how this all sort of comes together and how they fit into all of this. It's what would make sense for sure. And Netflix actually highlighted James Gunn's Superman in their investors call today after acquisition. So who knows? Maybe they'll be staying on, or maybe they're just doing that just because it was the talk of the town this year. But a thing with Gunn's DCU is that all three projects have sort of come and went. Superman, come and went. Peacemaker season 2, definitely come and went. Creature Commandos, nobody watched that show. Definitely came and went. So, but we're still here talking about the DCEU 10 years later. But you don't really see people talking about Superman, about, Creature Commandos, about Peacemaker. And if all of these projects were amazing, if all of these projects were great, we would still be talking about them on December 5th, 2025. But we're not. We are not talking about these projects. They've been sort of left in the wind. They've been swept up and taken away. And that's just sort of how it's been going lately for DC. The only real talk of the town right now is the Batman Part 2. That's it. And Zack and his cast, Zack Snyder and his cast have been making a lot of commotion. Gal posted her screen test with Ben the other day and celebrating 12 years since being cast as Wonder Woman. And Zack had recently showed that to her, by the way. So Zack is starting to sort of reach out to his original cast, which I think is really interesting in how this goes. He did actually share a new picture of Wonder Woman today. So again, all this is just very interesting to me. I don't know how we're going to be handling this. I want it all to run smoothly. I do not want all of this to sort of be one big gigantic mess that we have to clean up in a few years. I just want everything to run smoothly. I want the fans to be as calm and respectful as possible in this transition because trust me, if it's one thing that'll get people going bonkers is stress, okay? And we don't want anybody stressed, especially people running these studios like James Gunn, like Peter Safran, like Ted Sarandos, like David Zaslav. I think everybody just needs to take a chill pill as of right now, and then if things start to become questionable, then we can sort of start to go bonkers and question things. But right now, it's the beginning process. Things are still sort of new and sort of still happening. This is just the announcement of the acquisition of the studio. I don't know if the final deal is is fully finalized yet. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. I really, really hope that everything goes well, and I hope everything in terms of DC sort of starts to pick up, and we start to see how things are going to be looking for that. And hopefully, Netflix cooks up some banger ideas for whatever universe that they decide to go with. Even if it's a whole new universe, I hope that they just go all out and they kill it. Um, and all I ask is that they just please be respectful of the theater going experience, and that fans will still be able to enjoy these films in cinemas, because that's what makes this sort of experience special, is going to these movies, being excited to go to this movie, sitting down for a few hours, escaping from reality, and shutting off your phone and just sort of sitting there watching something on the big screen. It's the best thing ever. It's one of the best feelings ever, and it's definitely way different than opposed to sitting at home, and you have a noise happening everywhere in the house. Your mom's cooking dinner, your dad's mowing the lawn, whatever. But in a cinema, it is quiet, it's peaceful, it's respectful for the most part. Lately it's been kind of hectic, and I really hope for the Stranger Things finale screening that I'm going to be going to, that they like are that there's no talking, there's no going on phones 24/7, there's no there are ways to talk during movies, but when you're having like fully blown out conversations in a movie theater, especially right next to me, that's what pisses me off. So I just hope that Netflix just remains respectful of all of that. But anyway, I just want to kick it to you guys and see how you guys feel about all of this, and how you guys think this is going to be going. Um, I hope that everything sort of works out. I would want um, that this whole transition just goes great. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, comment down below your thoughts on this news. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You can see on this tweet that Netflix posted, it has 50 million views, which just goes to show how crazy this thing is. So who knows? Hopefully this video gets 50 million views. Share it with friends and family. I will be covering all of this fiasco in the next coming days. I know that I haven't been posting too much on here, but that's because I've just been so busy with school and everything. It is my senior year. I am trying to get a lot done. I'm also working on a lot of screenplays at the moment. So I'm just sort of working on 10,000 things. So content creation has sort of been the back of everything, but I'm wanting to continue again. So it would really mean a lot to me if you guys were to just subscribe, leave a like, comment, and yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care and peace.